Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA, I make videos for NFL, whole bunch of other stuff, CSGO, just a whole bunch of stuff. All these videos, they get posted right here on this subreddit. This subreddit is really, really important to check out because I make updates with all the news that comes out. And for preseason, we're going to have a lot of news that comes out, and it's going to change from these videos on what I like. So it's really, really important to check these posts out and check them out. If you have any questions, you can comment. I'll reply to you about the slate and stuff like that. So really, really important. And if you ever need to get a hold of me, you can just get a hold of me on Twitter right here at ToryLangley1992 and Shook Go. If I reach 1,000, when I reach 1,000 followers, I'm going to do a huge giveaway. So definitely check that out. And then if you're interested in joining my Discord, I'll give you guys a quick in-depth look. I post player pools for cash and tournaments. Everyone in green is available to play in cash. Anyone in white is just tournament only, as you can see. And I post second half showdown stuff, huge edge there. All the news that I find, what it changes and stuff like that. So really, really great stuff. Private videos that I'll show here, going over cash games, going over tournaments, just going over everything about each slate in depth. So definitely do check that out. I also do CS:GO for my Discord, whole bunch of stuff. So definitely check that out. Now, before we go to the in-depth breakdown, or not in, it'll be in-depth, but there's some stuff that we don't really know. Let's go over my lineups from the past few days because I haven't made a video in a few days, and it's been a phenomenal for preseason for myself and for everyone in Discord. Today I didn't cash in cash games because Duggan just didn't play. Absolutely wild. As you can see, I was right on the bubble. Just unbelievable stuff. Just not playing there. But outside of that, guys, it's been phenomenal. This was yesterday. I banked the showdown slate. We had huge winners yesterday. One thing yesterday that was absolutely insane that people did not see was that Deuce Vaughn was barely going to play. I know you guys see him still in my showdown lineup, but he was barely going to play. We got news that Rico Dowdle was going to play a lot more this game. I told everyone to swap all your Vaughn to Dowdle if you were looking bad. That's what we did. It helped out massively. I banked this showdown because of Dowdle. Just absolutely huge there. In cash games, it was free cash. I kept Deuce Vaughn because I was already in the cash. Easy. Today was my first losing day of preseason. Like I said, this was the other day. Easy cash. Wasn't even close. CSGO, we're absolutely nuking. This was the other day. Easy cash. In Showdown, it's just been a freaking phenomenal run the day before that. Or was that the same showdown? I'm not entirely sure there. Let's go to page 2. I missed in CSGO there. NFL Showdown, another cash. Like I said, I haven't missed on a cash in a slate besides today. And then had that nice showdown bink yesterday. Alright, enough of that. Let's get into this game. One game showdown slate breakdown. Alright, so for the Ravens, I would be pretty shocked if the starters play here. I think right now beat reporters are pretty much saying that Johnson and, let me go position by position, Johnson and Brown are probably going to be splitting the half, but I don't think anything's confirmed yet. So just keep an eye on stuff. Keep an eye on the Reddit. Stuff's going to change. A lot of speculation up in the air right now. But assuming Johnson and Brown both get a half, I think both look like two of the better plays on this slate. I do prefer Brown to Johnson. Brown is a bit more rushing upside. Johnson's 50 years old, but both pretty solid plays. I do prefer Brown to Johnson. Justin Tucker, they only have one kicker on the roster, so he looks like a very good play on this showdown slate. The defenses, they're always going to be pretty great plays in the showdown slate. They're always going to project as one of the top plays. They're always on the field. They have upside, etc. So really like the defense. I think Tucker's a great play. Really like both Baltimore quarterbacks, assuming both get a half. Let's get into the running back position. So last week they ran 5 running backs. Mason and Ricard are fullbacks. They're not really going to play much. This week, I don't really think Dobbins, Edwards, they're going to play much. Hill, I don't know if he'll play, if much at all. So keep an eye on the news here. It's very, very important. If they play all their guys and they have 5 running backs again, then it's kind of hard for me to go to anyone. My favorite would be Keaton Mitchell. He would be the guy that I would take a shot on, undrafted free agent rookie. I would think they'd want to get a little bit more look at him. But if all these guys sit, then that means if all the guys play, like, they'd all just be darts for me. I wouldn't really have any interest in anyone outside of Keaton Mitchell. If they all sit, then I think Keaton Mitchell would have to get a solid chunk of work with, like, him as a running back play. I think Gordon and Wright would get some solid work. We'll see. They would be in play, but Mitchell would definitely be my favorite play of these running backs if they do sit. So for tight end, they played 3 tight ends last week. I don't expect Andrews to play. We saw Isaiah likely get injured. Keep an eye on there if he's going to. He was able to practice, so I'd guess he does play, but we'll keep an eye out there. If he does play, you can definitely throw darts at him. Extremely talented. He might be too good for preseason, but Kolar played a decent chunk last week. Would like him more if Likely's out. If Likely does play, then I don't really have too much interest in the tight ends. Kolar maybe would be the guy to take a shot on. If we get clarity on Likely's playing time, then I would definitely have some interest. But he might just be too good for preseason, honestly. Going over to wide receivers. So they played 9 wide receivers last game. Like I said, I don't think starters are going to be playing in this game. So that being like Bateman, Odell, Aguilar, possibly Duvernay. Even if Duvernay plays, I don't think he plays really too much, if at all. Flowers, maybe. I'm not sure. We saw Prochet get injured. We'll keep an eye on his status. Missed practice. That was last week. Okay. So we'll see there on Prochet. But assuming all these guys are out, my favorite, and Prochet plays, my favorite would definitely be Ryan or Prochet. We saw Ryan play about half the snaps last game, and we saw Prochet play about half the snaps last game. So those 2 guys would be my 2 favorites. And then if you want to take darts on other wide receivers, I think you can take shots at like Treadwell. He played 22 snaps, ran around in 14 of those. Wallace played 20 snaps, ran around on 14 of those, and then Black played 21 snaps, ran around on 12 of those. So those would be the guys, end of the depth chart guys that I take a shot on. But Prochet, Ryan would be my 2 favorites, played the most snaps. This is where it gets really, really disgusting. Washington, we have no news on what they're going to be doing yet. So a lot of it's just going to be speculation. I would think starters don't play in this game, but we will see. So for defenses, obviously they're good. They do have 2 kickers right now, but Bagley is planned to get released by the Washington football team. We will see on that. If he does get released, Sly becomes a very good option, but they only have 1 kicker, so keep an eye on that. I'm not sure if he already got released or not. We'll see. Going over to quarterbacks, so they did play 3 quarterbacks last week. They basically split time, all 3 of them. No news on if they're going to be playing or not, that being Hal and starters, etc. Keep an eye on that. If they all 3 play, I don't really have too much interest in anyone. They'd all just be tournament darts for me, so keep an eye on that. If we get news that Hal's going to sit and we get, a half from Brissett, a half from, they'd be firmly in play. I think I'd prefer the Baltimore quarterbacks over them, but they definitely would be firmly in play. Let's go over to running backs. They played 6 last game. Could see some starters rest here. Maybe like, Gibson, Robinson don't play. We'll keep an eye. If they do play, then I really have no interest in any of these running backs. Maybe Rodriguez. He's the rookie. He's been playing well in camp. Probably would be my favorite, but I really wouldn't have too much interest in the running backs if they all play. Now, if they're all out, then kind of the same thing I said with like Baltimore. Rodriguez would be my favorite. I would expect him to get the most work, and then I don't know. Outside of that, I think you're still taking darts. They would still have 4 running backs here, but maybe like Gore. But Rodriguez would be my favorite. Really just taking darts on the other. For tight end, Turner played the most. If you want to play him, fine. I don't really like playing tight ends in preseason on Showdown. The raw medium projection is just pretty bad. All right, going over to wide receivers. This was just absolutely disgusting. They played 12 wide receivers last game. We'll see if the starters are going to play. Like I said, I would assume they don't. And if starters don't play, maybe Pringle's in that group. Not entirely sure, so would be careful with Pringle. If we don't get news on starters, we'll get news, but if we get new starters, I would definitely be careful on Pringle if they don't give us news that he's also sitting. But I would assume McLaurin, Samuel, Dotson, Brown don't play much, if at all. These are the guys that kind of played the most last week. So if we get news they are playing, maybe take shots on the starters. They kind of spread out all of these snaps. If we get news that they are not playing, then there are some guys that I think I do like here for tournaments. One being Allen. Kazmir Allen, he is an undrafted free agent from UCLA, playing in the slot mostly. He's been having a pretty good camp. He'd probably be the guy I'd take the shot on. Probably my favorite. What else can we talk about? Tremaine. He's had some big plays in camp, but I've some interest in him. He's mainly playing with the third team, so maybe whoever's playing the second half. You stack him with a quarterback from the second half, whoever that is. I guess. Who else? Tinsley. Very familiar with Tinsley. Believe he's from Penn State. Would have some interest in him. I think he's fighting for like the 5th and 6th wide receiver spot, 6th maybe. So would have some interest from him. He'll probably get some run if we're talking about if all these guys are out that I mentioned. I would not play. Where is he? I would not play Milne. He's mainly been a punt returner, so I would not play him. Bowens, I'm not too familiar with Bowens at all. Not sure what college he went to, but he's at the end of the depth chart. He would be in play, mainly just taking shots on guys at the end of the depth chart. I think my favorite, like I said, would be Kazmir Allen. So I think that's going to wrap up the slate, guys. Make sure to check out the Reddit for all my updates. A lot of news up in the air for the Showdown slate. I really hope this video helped you guys out, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow.